G'day and welcome to the Inforunners again. It's Execute joined by Osiris for us today for Alien Day. I guess we're going to call this one. So yeah. How are your thoughts? Osiris, you haven't been with us for a couple of days. I know you've been shopping and, chopping trees and all that stuff as you know. Sorry, I couldn't help it. You look just like a lumberjack.
All right, that was low hanging fruit, but I'll give it to
Yeah. Sorry, I always slip it in there. But yeah, you have been doing a bit of shopping, haven't you? You managed to. I let the guys know in one of the previous episodes you managed to get an Idris. So
I
congrats on
did.
that.
So I got the Idris and I got a Hully. Maybe we can talk about that more in the CCU chain episode
Yeah,
that we do.
which we're
after.
also going to record today. Yeah, so we'll talk about that then. All right, we'll kick it over to the browser then, and off we go with. I'm just going to call it Alien Day. I think it probably rolls off the tongue a little bit better than what it's meant to be called. But anyway, I guess we kick it off with a POA. I'm going to just say they're not in a good place right now. I don't know if you tend to kind of agree with that. They're not in the best of ways.
Yeah, well, they fall into the category of low value for a couple of reasons. One, there's the alien tax. Two, most of their offerings are either vehicles or light fighters. But the one standout here would be, I think, the Santokiai, which I am very interested in. I've talked about that before. I think it's going to be the best fighter in the game based on everything they've said about where they want the flight model to end up.
Yeah,
And today it's still 220 US. So if you're interested, this would be the one fighter that I wouldn't automatically say melt. That's me personally. Your mileage may vary.
No, I agree. It's definitely the best on paper at the moment. We still don't kind of know where the F8's going to sit, and that's kind of like my big question mark with the Santoki. And what's to say we don't see a heavy fighter coming out for the alien races, which will obviously mean something. If they end up bringing that out, it'll probably get squished by that, because this is technically only.
I just think the F8, like the way that their price scale works, the F8 is going to be like $300 or something stupid like that for a fighter.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
You know how much more ship you can get for $300? Just earn it in game.
The other thing, while we're on Apollo 2, is the other ship that's available today is the Talon, and that now very closely treads on the Kartawal. And the Kartawal, I don't know if I can justify another $60, I think, to get to the Kartawal above the Talon. So it's
an interesting ship and it looks really cool, but again, that's kind of the stick with all these alien ships, is that they're very unique and they put a lot of effort into the appearance.
Yeah.
And they look really cool, but the price does not commensurate with the value.
You've got to be a bit cautious now with prices like the Prowler and stuff. So we'll talk about them just a second.
Boy,
but yeah, that kind of like signifies, like, I know some people have talked about how rare these ships are, but Osiris and I will tell you, but most of these ships, they appear to be just priced on how cool they are, because they know they'll sell. And we've
100%,
yeah, we've seen that already with other stuff. So yeah, like if you want a Kartawal or even interested in Kartawal, I'd probably consider a Talon before I'd consider this. It's just an articulated jellyfish, really. It's kind of weird. It's kind of cool. It's got a cool factor. It's cool when you pull it out and people go, "Oh, that looks cool," but you can't really do anything with it at the moment. You can't do any box missions. You can't do anything like that. So it's just in a bad place. All right, deal of the day, if you can call it that, for the Merchantman, which is now increased
one way
by
of putting it.
$100. Yeah, bargain. Make me pay an extra $100.
I got sticker shock today, and let me tell you, we'll get into this in the CCU chain episode, but this totally threw a wrench in some of my CCU plans. $100 price increase. We haven't seen this since the Carrack was in concept. Remember when there was an IAE that they just jacked up the price randomly for no reason? They hadn't done that before to any ship that wasn't flight ready. And like you said a minute ago, it's 100% because they know they can get away with it because of the popularity of the ship. So the lesson here is all of these high value ships that we talk about all the time, like the Endeavor, the Crucible, get those CCUs now while you can and lock in the price, because they're going to do it to all of them.
Yeah, I've kind of been doing that this week too. I bagged up a bunch of really common ships that we recommend just for CCU. So if there's someone that really needs one, I'll be there in the future. So I've been picking up things like Crucibles and Endeavors and stuff like that, just really cheap CCUs from like Geminis and stuff like that, because the Gemini's not going to move because it's released. But then, down the track, if they jack up the price, I've got them sitting there that I can sell off to people at cost, just to help people out. Bounty Defender, still kind of an interesting fighter at the moment, but again, it's a fighter. Kind of falls into that same ballpark that you've been talking about. They're just overpriced for what they are. That rule of cool again. If you like space crabs, I guess it's a thing for you. I just still can't get over the fact that I got this for $250 and now it's $450.
Here's the thing too, like they just a few months ago they announced that they're going to reconcept this ship, right? We have no idea what that means. Obviously, they have some idea what it means, and probably by now they're going down in a certain direction based on whatever criteria. But it's hard. It's really, really difficult to even say that this was going to be a great value at $350. Look, I know I've taken a little bit of controversy on my shoulders. I came out with a video on my own channel earlier this year where I was very critical of the Banu Merchantman, and a lot of what I saw is design flaws in it, and those might get fixed in this second round of reconcepting, but we don't know that yet. We have no idea where they're going with this, and the fact that the price went up another $100, how can you now maintain that it's still worth it? I don't know. I'm very suspicious of the ship, and I feel like this is just a move based on popularity, and it has nothing to do with ship value. So if you were lucky enough to get that price locked in before, like either $250 when it was original, or even up to Alien Day earlier this year, it was still $350. I mean, hang on to that CCU just in case. But I personally, I don't know how you feel, Execute. I'm not going to recommend anybody pledge for the ship at $450. It's just
it does make it difficult. But I will say it's a very popular ship, so it's like the second most popular after the Carrack, and then the third being the Mercury Star-Runner. I think it's one of those ships that if they stuff it up, they'll hear about it. And so I think that probably is also a reason why it's been reconcepted again. We speculated for a while that it may even shrink, but I think with the price increase, like I'm expecting another $100 again when it comes out, so that puts it about $550. So it's you've got the Polaris that would be sitting at $750. Combat ship versus a non kind of combat ship with cargo. I can now see that size comparison, so I am starting to think that maybe it is still Polaris sized or a little bit smaller. It's a hard thing to call, like trying to predict the future. But they better not stuff it up. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, if the level of outrage over the Mercury Star Runner is any indication, like to me, that ship, they definitely way exceeded my expectations. I think that was a great ship and a great delivery. And in my opinion, all of the nitpicking over it is a big much ado about nothing. Like, this is a great ship. I'm happy to fly one. Everybody who had a hand in designing it and building it should be proud. But the fact that there's so much divisiveness in the community over the execution of that ship, like multiply that times 100 for the Banu Merchantman. No matter how they go down the road of developing that ship, there's going to be somebody who's not happy about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of like I say with people too. No ship is going to be for everyone. It's the same thing there. All right, Asperia. The Prowler went up another $20 or $15. I don't know how they can justify that at all, considering, and this is one of those things that we were talking about, the rule of cool. In game, this just shows you how much the rule of cool is in effect, right? You have the Hoplite and you have the Prowler. Now the Prowler is now $440, and the Hoplite I believe is $225, $235, something like that. But in game,
I think that it was $440 when it went flight ready, though. I thought that was the credit price at that time. I don't think it went up again the IAE. I could be mistaken.
Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, so what
it's
I'm trying to get
a lot more money than it's worth. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your out of game pricing. So the Prowler is almost double the price of the Hoplite, but in game, the Prowler is cheaper than the Hoplite. And this just really shows us that rule of cool / alien pricing is completely out of whack. And I'm now very cautious of alien ships because of things like what the Prowler is the first really bad example. And when I say bad, I mean as in shockingly bad price. But we've seen other weird prices as well, and in several other ships. So just we saw this coming years ago, but we can boast about that. The cows come home. But the point is, we now actually have hard proof of those speculations as they were at the time. Yeah, there are now certain ships you need to be aware of, and alien. I think almost every alien ship I am now cautious of because of that reason. And that's the other thing. Like, take that alien tax back to the Banu. Like, how much does that affect it? Is it still a $450 ship, or is it $350 because it's
$350 chip with $100 tax on it? Yeah,
you don't know, do you? You really don't know. So it's we'll just have to wait and see. Like, yeah,
I'm telling you, like, don't underestimate the Hull C comparatively. It's now $250 less. If you don't have specific concrete reasons why you need to have a BMM over a Hull C, you don't need to spend $200 more on something that's probably going to have much less cargo than the Hull C.
Yeah, I would say we're very much in the wait and see territory now for that to come out, because now you don't know if you're actually paying a premium or not anymore. When it was $100 different and it was fully enclosed, you can kind of adjust it. But at $200, you start to go, shit, am I better to get 2 Hull Cs? Because really,
like, you can land a BMM on a planet. So what? You don't have to land a Hull C on a planet. You can take it to a cargo depot and make plenty of money.
Yeah, and you can also just not put cargo in the bottom quarter of it, and it can still land. So yeah, the only real advantage it has is enclosed cargo in the shop. So there are some advantages. Anyway, Talon. This is increased by $10. So it's gone from $90 to $10. But and I think that kind of shows that because it's literally just around the corner from release. So that, as I said, if you want an alien ship, this is kind of a cheap man's Cartwell. I'm not the biggest fan of this ship personally. I think you can do a lot better for $100, like a Cutlass. I can't recommend this when a Cutlass exists, basically.
Yeah, that's I guess kind of what am I trying to say? That's where we're at with like the value of any ship is compared to what are the alternatives. And like you said, you get a lot more ship for $100 for the Cutlass. This Talon, it really kind of checks a lot of the boxes that I am susceptible to when I'm looking at prices. Like, personally, I like the weird paint. I like the design language of the ship. I think it looks cool, but to me, it's still an earning game. It's not a high value pledge wise.
Yeah, again, almost every fighter in the book, anything under $200, especially, like, it starts to get grey around $200, but we just have that as a generalized rule. Sell your fighters, things under $200 are just not worth keeping. And this is another one of it. It's very, very cool. But again, if you're going to spend that amount of money, you're going to get way more functionality right now out of a Cutlass than you. In fact, I'd almost say a Cutlass, even just in fighting terms, would beat these. So I'd actually say, it's got more armor. It's got almost just as comparable guns. You really are paying.
It's kind of like if you jam both of these ships together, like, right, the Talon has the guns, the Shrike has the missiles. Yeah, the Cutlass has both of those things plus cargo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can do your box missions, your rock mining, and all that stuff. So it's a much better buy at the moment. All right, then we've got skins. So this is the first time we've seen skins for the Prowler, I believe. I don't think there's been any others. So yeah, there's an interesting blue one and a white one. Avoid these helmets and stuff like the Plague. They're going to be available in game. They are not worth the $4 US. What's your personal preference over the white or the blue skin? If you had to pick one, which one would you pick for the Prowler?
I'd pick the blue one, and it's only because yesterday somebody posted on our Discord some screenshots from in-engine of the Caterpillar with the blue skin, and it looks a lot different than the thumbnail on the webpage does. Like, this is like a sort of like a royal blue. It looks kind of flat on my browser, and it was like an electric blue almost in engine, and it had a totally different look to it. And you might be able to Google screenshots of it or whatever, but it looks way better in game than it does on the browser, is my point. And I still wouldn't recommend buying
any skin. Yeah, I'm kind of like that as well. Unless, like, the only time I've ever seen anything for it is if you are a can't remember. There was a ship this week. I was saying there was. Oh, that's it. The MISC. The MISC freelancer MISC. That's it, because it'll allow you to kind of
camouflage it as a regular freelancer.
Yeah. It makes it look a little bit like a dir. So, but because eventually they're going to change the way the naming of ships works. So yeah. All right then. So that's been Alien Day. Let us know in the comments below if you I'm definitely know we're going to get comments about the merchant. I can see I've been hit by messages.
I've been getting them for a long time.
Yeah, or while the show's been going on, I've been getting them as well. So definitely going to get a lot of messages about that in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. Also, let us know your thoughts on the inflation of aliens as well. And do you all kind of agree with me and Osiris? Like, it's now a wait and see on the banner to see if it's going to pay off. Because I've got a feeling that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a sit and wait, and that's a lot of the case with a lot of these ships now. So yeah, if you like this video, subscribe if you like Patreon, all that stuff. Also, there is a referral code below for Osiris. Have you got any more, Osiris? Because we haven't been pushing that all this week.
I haven't. I checked earlier this morning. I haven't gotten any since IAE started. I have 6 out of the 10 you need for the Gladius, so I'm close.
4 more then. Yeah, you've got a few then. Well, that's good then. So we just need 4 more.
It's been a slow grind.
Yeah, we'll get you there. Don't you worry. We're just going to push it a little bit more. We don't usually push stuff here, but yeah, we'll try and get you those done. All right, he's been Osiris. I've been Execute. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.